Well, again, welcome to today's festivities. What an exciting day for Mason Public Schools. My name is Ron Javisky. I'm the superintendent here, and I can honestly say this is probably the proudest day of my professional career. So let's have a round of applause for our event. I want to thank some groups and some people here today. First of all, let's thank our marching band. Thank you. Our cheerleaders. Thank you, Mason Cheer. We have some National Honor Society students from the high school as well. Let's give them a round of applause. Where's Buster, our bulldog? Thank you, Buster. Jeff Howder and the A&W floatway in the back there, serving up some hot dogs and root beer floats. Make sure you grab one before you leave today. We got plenty. And also Mike Prelsnick, who's providing the carnival rides today. Mike's in the back there somewhere. Mike, thank you. There are 2 bouncy houses for the adults inside. Kids can play on the playground outside. Thank you. Thank you all for putting this together. I do want to introduce our Board of Education. They spend countless hours, serving our community, making our engine here in Mason Schools work and operate. They're tirelessly putting time and energy into the district, so I'm going to take a moment to introduce them. Kurt Creamer, our board president. Kurt, if you'd stand up, please. Christopher Mumby, vice president. Patrick O'Connor, trustee. Michael Kelly, I don't think he's able to make it tonight, but a round of applause for Michael. Steve Duane, trustee. Matt Hall, trustee. And Liz Evans. Liz wasn't able to make it tonight. Thank you, board. We did invite former board members. I don't know if there's any former board members in the audience, but if you're a former board member, please raise your hand or stand up. Have any here. All right, moving on. We do have some, we invited our Mason City Council here. I know our mayor's here, Russ Whipple, city clerk and city manager. If you're from the city, please raise your hand. Thank you for all you do. We truly have a fantastic relationship and partnership with our city. We share City Hall, and it's been just a great partnership, so thank you for all that you do. We did invite our Alaiedon Township Board of Trustees, so if you're from Alaiedon Township, please stand up or raise your hand so we can recognize you. And thank you for letting us use the parking lot. We would not have had enough parking here, that's for sure. I do want to introduce our leadership team members. So if you're a leadership team member at Mason Public Schools, that's all of our principals, assistant principals, food service director, transportation director. If you're part of that leadership team, please stand up. I'd like to recognize you. I do want to introduce or mention our executive team at Central Office. Tracy Wooden, our CFO. Tracy, stand up again. Greg Keeker, who was actually working security with transportation out front, so he's out there. Say hi to Craig when you see him. Rick Brooks, our HR director, he's unable to make it today, but let's give a round of applause for Rick. And last but not least, Matt Stewart. Stand up, Matt. He's our executive director of curriculum, and he came on board about a year after I came on board. And he's been working tirelessly in this district. And you talk about teaching and learning, curriculum instruction, Matt's been leading the charge. He's got 2 great teammates in Molly and Melissa. I'm going to introduce them in just a second. But thank you, Matt, for all you do in making this all possible. Putting on this event was no easy task. I didn't have a lot to do with actually putting all the bells and whistles on this whole thing. So there's a lot of people that went into this, and I want to thank them for their work, Matt as well, but Becky Hinman and Jody Somerville. Becky, Jody. Sarah and Mickey, Sarah Parkinson, Mickey O'Neill, our communications team. They're back there behind the camera. Melissa Netzel and Molly Williams. I know Melissa's here with us today. I'm very grateful for all they do, not only for helping put this on, but all the work they do behind the scenes and making sure our teachers have what they need and supporting our staff throughout the district. Kevin Jones, IT. Kevin. He hasn't learned the word no yet, so I'm hopefully not going to teach him that, but he's just always stepping up for us, so thank you, Kevin. Tammy Royston, Sue Fountain, and Tammy Souls. Round of applause for our Alaiedon team. Sending out invitations, making sure people are here, and all those fun things. So thank you, team, for making this a memorable event. That's for sure. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to our board president, Kurt Creamer, who's going to have and share some opening remarks. So, Mr. Creamer.
Thank you very much. You don't get a lot of applause lately, so it's good. Again, thank you for everybody here. I'm not going to go through all the names again, but really proud of this event and see the people turn out and celebrate like the way we should be celebrating today. I am honored to be able to speak on behalf of the board as the board president. I'm even more honored to be a parent in this community, like most of us out here. We've had kids come through the schools. We have 7 board members on the Board of Education. Out of those 7 board members, I believe I counted 18 students that are either at Mason or have graduated from Mason. So we are all parents just like most of you. Out of the 18 kids that we have that have gone to school here, 7 have graduated. 7 have graduated and gone on to higher education. Across those 7 kids, we have kids at MSU, Lansing Community College, University of Michigan, Ferris State, Oakland University, Michigan Tech University, and Lawrence Tech University. So great representation of Mason kids across the state. And interesting kind of side note as I thought about this, the 7 kids who have graduated and gone on to college that are members of the kids from the board members, of those 7, all 7 of those kids began their love of learning right here at Alaiedon. So kind of an interesting fact. So we know the school well. All 3 of my kids went here, and so I know I've spent a lot of years here. I know a lot of the teachers. As board members and as parents, while this is an incredibly prestigious award, it really doesn't come as any surprise to those of us who know the school. It comes as no surprise because we have seen firsthand the quality of education our own kids have received and are continuing to receive in Mason schools. It comes as no surprise because we saw the leadership that Lisa Francisco had here years ago in getting a lot of the programs started at Alaiedon as principal. It comes as no surprise as we watch Shanna Barnum step in and take the ball and start running with it and really elevate us up to the next level. Incredible things that you've done here. Yes, absolutely. It comes as no surprise because we see the work and the dedication that all of our teachers put into educating our students every single day, not just at Alaiedon, but across all of our schools. It can be a thankless job. At times, especially over this last 2 years, they've seen incredible challenges that they've had to tackle. But even with all these challenges, our teachers continue to prepare our children for everything that lies ahead of them. I couldn't be more proud of being a Mason parent. On behalf of the Board of Education, on behalf of all parents, I want to thank everyone who's had a part in making Mason Public Schools so special, and to inspire our kids, to empower our kids, and to ensure that our kids succeed in everything that comes forward in the future for them. So again, thank you for everybody. Couldn't be more excited about this day. Go back to Superintendent Ron Javinsky. A few more comments.
Kurt. Well said. You know, I'm just so proud of this district. This is a district-wide award. I'm certainly so proud of the Alaiedon staff and what we've accomplished here. And one thing that it's just so incredible, this is such a prestigious national award. It doesn't get any bigger than this. This is truly the top honor and recognition that you can receive as a public school and a public school district in our nation. That's why we have all these people here, because it is a big deal. And we celebrate the victories on the football field and on the volleyball court, but this is a victory we need to celebrate each and every day. And so it's just a proud moment for all of us as we sit here and stand here today at Alaiedon Elementary School. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for being here. You know, and this award is for consistently maintaining, consistently achieving at extremely high levels. It's not just one blip on the radar screen, one test score. It's countless test scores after test scores. And I'm going to say it's a heck of a lot more than test scores too, because our kids come home happy. They're proud to be Alaiedon Eagles and Mason Bulldogs. That's what's more important, is we take care of our kids here. Not only at Alaiedon, but every single school in our school district. And that's probably the most proudest thing I can say here today. So it's really confirmation that we've created that exemplary learning community throughout our district. And so many people have chipped in and pitched in, and I know that Shanna and Lisa will echo this comment. Their colleagues, their fellow principals here in Mason, our teams of support staff from central office, our teachers across the district, when we would meet and plan and brainstorm our PLC process, when our teachers can work together, it is just a powerful, powerful movement and opportunity to succeed. And so those are the pieces, but it's the people who've made this all possible. So with that, I'm going to close my comments and just say again, it just proves that teamwork and having high expectations of ourselves and others is really just a very simple formula for success. And we've achieved that here. So where do we go from here? Well, let's just keep striving to be the best we can be, because we know that the most important thing you give us is your children to educate. And that is just so powerful. We're so glad that we can work with your children. So thank you, parents. Thank you, staff, former and current staff. I see a lot of former staff members here. It's nice to see you all back. You take a lot of ownership and pride in what we were able to accomplish here and across the district. Students, I know there's a lot of Alaiedon students in our cheer teams and in our band and across our district. I'm sure there's some parents out here that were former Alaiedon students, and so it really goes back a long ways, and it's just a proud moment for all of us. So again, thank you for all that you do, and I'm going to turn it over to Shanna, who's going to share a few remarks on behalf of the building principal. So Shanna.
Thank you. And again, I'd like to thank all of you who have taken the time this evening to come celebrate with us. I would like to take this moment to recognize our current staff at Alaiedon, our current Alaiedon family staff. If you're in the audience, please stand. If you're standing, please raise your hand. We want to honor you. We have also had former Alaiedon staff travel from far and near to join in this awesome celebration tonight. So if you are a former Alaiedon staff member, please stand or raise your hand. So I am absolutely proud, honored, and humbled that Alaiedon Elementary has received this designation as a 2021 National Blue Ribbon School. This is like winning the gold medal at the Olympics. So I am just so proud of all of you. And I believe that this designation was earned because of the persistent and consistent efforts that our staff has contributed to the systems that Mason Public Schools values. We value our professional learning community time. We value our multi-tiered systems of support time and the effort that goes into making sure that our students get exactly what they need through our win time. It's these systems that we have in place throughout our district that lead to real growth and academic achievement in our students. So for that, we can truly say that the collective efficacy of our entire staff in the belief that all students can learn at high levels has allowed us to reach this prestigious level and to earn this designation as a 2021 National Blue Ribbon School. At this time, there are some other very important perspectives that I'd like you to hear. We have taken time to select all of the contributions from many parts of our community that really go into the success of our students. So coming next to share with you will be members of our staff. There'll be parents. We'll have students share as well, because it truly takes a village to reach this level of award. So the first person I would like to introduce to you is Mrs. Lisa Francisco. Lisa was the former principal prior to my coming. My first year here was 2017. Prior to that, Lisa Francisco was here in Mason Public Schools from the year 2001 through 2017. During those years, she served as the Cedar Elementary principal, and in 2008, she came to Alaiedon to serve as the Alaiedon principal here. So Lisa has led this journey, and I am so excited to hear and have you all hear from her about this journey. So I'll turn the lectern over to Lisa.
Well, hello. I am beyond ecstatic to be here. And Principal Barnum, I just want to thank you for your generosity. You have shared with me all of the achievements Alaiedon has had over the last 3.5 years and the continued accomplishments, and this is just incredible. So thank you. I am deeply honored to share reflections on how our Alaiedon team began this journey and set the foundation for what you are all continuing today. And I apologize, I am not keeping to a 3-minute time frame. There is just way too much. I appreciated the attention to former board members, because I had the opportunity to present to them on many occasions about all of the systems work we were doing. And I bet they would pass a test. As Superintendent Javitsky and Principal Barnum highlighted, Alaiedon's National Blue Ribbon Award is a pinnacle moment. It is worthy that each of us speaking today highlight and underscore this. To try to give an example of such an award to our general public about what does that mean? Gold medal, Tony Award, Oscar Award, World Series trophy. But you know what? There are other industries beyond those that we normally know. We have the, going public on the New York Stock Exchange, the Michelin Star for Culinary Arts, the Golden Spike Award for Advertising and Marketing, and even an Eagle for Excellence Award for Energy and Utilities. I'm not going to repeat the statistics as I looked up on Google, but I will tell you, here is the percent of schools that Alaiedon represents of those that have received this. 0.0002277%. I can't even say what that, I wouldn't even know where to begin how to say that number. But I think it goes to show how special it is, and I want everybody here in this audience today, every staff member currently in the ranks at Alaiedon and every student who joined this journey and have moved on, to feel very, very special. And let us appreciate the decision to apply and the work necessary to complete and submit the National Blue Ribbon application. It is long and arduous. Not to mention, this fine group did so back in January and February of 2021. Where were we in this pandemic at that time? Early vaccines, masks, hybrid school, dead of winter. You have my utmost respect and admiration for moving forward on that. This work actually began back in 2008. At this time, Mason Public Schools consolidated their 4 elementary buildings into 3. Alaiedon Elementary welcomed and added about 100 students and 10 staff from Cedar Street Elementary. This was a sensitive transition, to say the least. But from the first time my Cedar Street colleagues, students, families, and I entered this building to be introduced, we all forged together to cultivate an impactful learning and teaching community for everyone. In our first year together, we had many teams all doing good work. Child study team, school improvement team, my Blissy team. We knew needs existed and needed to be met, but unintentionally we worked in silos hoping to get the same end result, and at times felt frustrated as we recognized our teams were duplicating each other's efforts. The initial school improvement team may remember gathering in the glass conference room around a little green covered book titled Annual Growth for All Students. Yes? No? We read it together, dialogued and debated it, and used it to begin our journey to make structural changes and establish systems to better meet the needs of our students. Learning what data is, what it isn't, how to look at it, how to talk to it, and listen to what it was telling us helped me, each teacher, support staff member, student, parent, and Alaiedon PTO take the best next step to improve student learning at 1723 Okemos Road. In the early days, we had a My Blissy team that learned and guided our school implementing system foundations. A team making decisions based on data, assessing students and stakeholders perceptually and academically to provide that data, providing instruction at each tier to support learning and improve learning, monitoring this work tenaciously, and always evolving what we do based on this work. In those early days, we had an upper elementary student petition to not change the school student motto to SOAR. Remember that? Adult tears and frustration during our first child study team meetings, where we came face to face with the actual numbers of students who would benefit from refining our classroom instruction or from additional time with a caring adult that we didn't have in order to better their skills. Upper elementary teachers learning exactly what went into learning and teaching pre-K through first grade children to read. Remember that? Thousands of eagle feathers before discovering SOAR tickets. So much cleaner. And most notably, growing pains of systematizing our many teams into an organizational framework where feedback and communication flowed up and down and sideways. And most notably, life outside of the school building continued. Celebrations, hardships, and heartache. There was lots of work to do and heavy lifting was happening at what felt like a snail's pace. Our implementation with fidelity of the system was on the rise, but our student achievement and assessment indicators weren't yet what we were hoping for or needed to see, for that matter, to keep up our stamina. Trust the system, trust the system, trust the system. Then along came 2011-12. At this time, the state of Michigan used a top to bottom ranking, and Alaiedon ranked at the 43rd percentile. Alaiedon was identified by the slimmest of margins as a focus school because our achievement gap between our highest and lower achievers was too great. As we were working so hard and trying to believe in the systems we were developing, this status knocked much wind out of our sails. It was hard to not take it personally, and we felt badly for how this presented to the community. But yet, it was one of the best things that ever happened to us. Being a focus school meant we needed to document and closely monitor the steps we were already taking to improve student achievement. Starting in 2012, we kept looking at and understanding what it was the evidence told us we should be doing. We honestly and objectively rated ourselves against criteria and prioritized where our work needed to focus next. The designation provided us access to more professional learning on evidence-based practices. We capitalized on that and elevated our skills. We learned more about feedback, and we learned how, rather to think and say students are learning from our instruction, to our instruction is changing based upon what our students are saying and doing. As we invested in professional learning and implementation with fidelity, the win-in-time interventions, Tier 1 PBIS and CHAMPS, learning targets, success criteria, feedback, and professional learning communities, not to mention learner dispositions, which I'm hopeful Ethan and Tyler and Amber can speak to a little bit. We all began, our teaching and support staff, we cultivated an environment of collective efficacy and leadership among all staff. Students and staff alike lived out, this is what I know, this is what I need to know, and this is how I'm going to get there. Our ranking in the top to bottom began to rise. I can honestly say it was the spring of the school year in 2016 and the following year where I really began to feel and see our school, students, teachers, staff, and families mastering a high level of systems implementation. I saw it and others saw it, the evidence-based practices being lived out in real time, in instruction and feedback with students and teachers, in dialogues between students and teachers, between teachers and teachers, and between teachers and principal. At meetings with staff, parents, students in our district and our Board of Education, where we analyzed, debated, advocated, and made decisions. I think Ron was very happy with my advocacy. More importantly, Alaiedon was creating momentum that was not dependent on a single person or one team. It was all of us. We had grown our students to where through the 2015-16 school year, Alaiedon now ranked at the 88th percentile in just 4 school years, and you aren't done yet. For several reasons, the state of Michigan shifted from a top to bottom ranking to what is now referred to as a school index. We must be careful not to think these percentages were derived from the same indicators as the top to bottom. Can't compare apples to oranges. But academic achievement is a common value. But what you do need to note is the following. And again, this is where she steps in and just shares all these wonderful celebrations with me. 2016-17, Alaiedon's index score, 96.94. School year 17-18, 97.67. School year 18-19, 98.78. It is so, you are growing in a margin that is that small. That is hard work to move. These percentages are not achieved easily. The dedicated work of this team to be true to systems work, to evaluate the systems, to make systems better, to meet the individual needs of all students continues. As I look out here, and there are so many new faces contributing to Alaiedon, evolving the system to make it better, to meet greater needs, to discover diversity where you don't think diversity exists. Continue on, keep being the best you can be. All of us here are behind you. Thank you for being an Alaiedon Eagle.
Thank you so much, Lisa. And you dedicated so much of your life to Mason Public Schools. We thank you so much and appreciate that. The next person I would like to introduce to you is Lisa Castle. She is one of our 5th grade teachers, and Lisa has been teaching at Alaiedon Elementary for 15 years. Her first year here, she was a kindergarten teacher, and every year after that, every year since, she has been a strong member of our 5th grade team. So please join me in welcoming Lisa.
Good evening. If my teeth are chattering, it's because I'm cold. I'm mourning the loss of summer already. My family will not be surprised to hear me say that. As teachers, one of our goals is to inspire lifelong learning. And when we adults are the ones gaining new knowledge from students, we feel we're on our way to achieving that goal. It might be learning fascinating information from a kid who researched a topic and produced an engaging presentation to share with us and their peers. On this very special night for current and former staff and students of Alaiedon Elementary, I think about scenarios like that, and especially about the 4th and 5th graders from the 2018-2019 school year. Being a 5th grade teacher, those were the students I knew best at the time, and so many kids in those groups exhibited a love for learning and were natural leaders. That was the last full school year before the pandemic, and those kids are now in 7th and 8th grades. Their hard work and demonstration of achievement from that time period, along with support from school staff and parents, are largely responsible for allowing us to celebrate this prestigious honor tonight for Alaiedon. So, congratulations to all those students who are here. Again, I'd like to thank our current Alaiedon principal, Shanna Barnum, and our former principal, Lisa Francisco. Under their leadership and with guidance from our administration, an effective aspect of our teaching has been WIN instruction, or what I need. Over the past several years in Mason schools, for a half hour, 4 days per week, kids have been split into groups tailored to their needs. Teachers and paraprofessionals provide everything from reteaching to enrichment. The parapros on our Alaiedon staff have been incredible. They are teachers in every sense of the word. We want to recognize them for designing and teaching enrichment activities for all grade levels, promoting creativity and instilling in kids a love for learning. I'm proud tonight to have a part in celebrating this award, not only as a teacher, but also a graduate of Mason Public Schools, myself. In addition, my husband and I are parents to an Alaiedon student and a Mason Middle School student. My family has a long history with Mason schools, dating back to 1949, when my grandma began teaching at Jefferson School downtown, the big brick building which now serves as housing, apartments. At that time, our district consisted of Jefferson and several country schools. A few years later, my mom was in the first kindergarten class at the brand new Steel Street School building. She and her siblings graduated from Mason, and my uncle enjoyed his long teaching career here at Alaiedon. My older sister and I started our school journey at North Aurelius, and when my family moved inside the city limits, my younger sister and I became Cedar Street School elementary kids. We all have many wonderful memories of special teachers and activities at every one of the school buildings here in Mason while growing up as Mason Bulldogs. For 15 years now, I've had the good fortune of being part of the Alaiedon family. I believe we really do have a family feeling here, whether it's the actions of our staff or our PTO caring for and supporting our children and each other. To quote the movie Trolls, life isn't always cupcakes and rainbows. But even during our challenging situations, our staff does come together. And I have a sense that the kids in our building know that we care and want them to succeed. This National Blue Ribbon School designation for Alaiedon is a celebration of great work by Alaiedon students, but it's also a result of the contributions from all Mason Public Schools employees, parents, generous area businesses, and community organizations. It's really quite remarkable to think of everything that our hometown educational system has been able to accomplish over the decades with that kind of support. From providing fantastic school buildings to offering a wide variety of opportunities to students, both inside and outside the classroom. Not only is this award for Alaiedon, but it is truly an award for all of Mason Public Schools and our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. The next person I'd like to introduce to you has been a member of our parent community here at Alaiedon for 11 some years. Her name is Callie Green. If you could please come this way. Callie has served many roles in our community. She has been our Alaiedon PTO president for 5 years. She's also served as our Mason Foundation president for 1 year, vice president for 1 year, and general member for for 1 year. So she has spent 3 years as part of our Mason Public Schools Foundation team, and we are very appreciative of that. So I would like to turn the lectern over to Callie to share some words from a parent perspective.
I am not long-winded, so I'm so happy to be here tonight. I've played many roles with regards to the school district. As Shanna said, I've been a parent here at Alaiedon for 11 years, which is weird because I'm only 28, so don't do that math. I have had the privilege of watching the staff here work relentlessly towards the success of every individual student. And that's huge, right? That is time consuming. Definitely, and it's because of their ongoing dedication and the support from leadership that we're here tonight. I really couldn't be more proud to be an Alaiedon parent. I'm going to be here for several more years and play a part in PTO and the foundation board. I just love it, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do for our district. Thanks.
Thank you, Callie. And to wrap up our special speakers this evening, very, very appropriately, and definitely rounding out the end here because they are so important, are 3 of our former Alaiedon students. So if you could walk this way, I will introduce you and let you take the lectern over. First, we have Ethan Charlot. Ethan Charlot is an 8th grader currently at Mason Middle School, and he enjoys football, robotic, and track. So he will be one of our speakers. Yes. This evening, we also have Tyler Southwell, and she is also an 8th grade student at Mason Middle School and enjoys playing golf. So Tyler, come on over here by Ethan. And we also have Amber Jones joining us. And fun fact about Amber, she is a 3rd generation Alaiedon alumni because her grandfather attended this school here as well as her mother, and she's an alumni as well. So 3rd generation alumni, Amber. She enjoys painting, reading, and writing. So I'm gonna let these 3 take it away.
Good evening. As you know, my name is Ethan. My experience with education here at Alaiedon has always felt very special to me. Over my 6 years here, I've learned a lot about how to obtain the material given to me in the most effective way possible. One of these skills is seeing the cup as half full rather than half empty, and this applies very well to test taking. If you see a problem on the test and get on yourself and think that you'll never be able to do it and you can't and you're a failure and you'll never get it done, then you're never gonna have that growth mindset to move forward. But if you look at that cup as half full and see that question as an opportunity to learn, then you can move on to better things in life and enjoy your career later on. Another thing is teachers. Teachers allow the creativity from us students to really come alive inside of us. And without those teachers, we would not be amazing and we would not be great. And to my favorite quote by Zig Ziglar, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Thank you.
Hi, as you know, my name is Tyler Southwell and I'm an 8th grader at Mason Middle School. When I went to Alaiedon, my experience was amazing. The teachers were very nice, kind, and helpful. When I had a question, my teachers were always right there to help me. Some of the reasons why I was so successful was because I stayed focused in class, I had a growth mindset. I asked questions when I was confused. I was on time to class and prepared. And I had teachers that cared, that I understood what they were teaching, which is most of Alaiedon teachers. Another reason why I was successful was because I would turn my homework in on time and do my best on my work and not guess. And if I was confused with homework, I would ask my family to help me so I wasn't just stuck. The program Wonders helped me a lot with my M-Step, test. The first test I took, I got an 18% on, but by the end of the year, I was getting around 98 to 100%. This happened because I asked questions when I was confused, and teachers did not stop helping me till I was improving on my test scores. And on my M-Step, I went from partially proficient to advanced with 1 year of Wonders. Thank you.
If I'm tall enough for this, but as you know, I'm Amber. Thank you for introducing me, Ms. Barnum. And I was brought here to mainly tell the students how to be successful, but there are very few students here. And it's mostly just the wonderful parents and staff members who helped us get this blue ribbon. But one of the most important things, like my peers have said, is just trying your hardest and trying and striving to be the best, to have these good grades and to do well on your assignments and tests. It's having a growth mindset and believing that you can do something rather than just assuming that you're a failure. It's trying and trying and trying again until you get the grades and the scores that you wanted. And it's thinking about how what you're doing now, what you're doing today, and how everything you're doing and how that's going to affect your future tomorrow, next week, and next year, and much, much farther. Thank you.
How about another round of applause for our students? Great job. To close the program today, we have a couple special guests here, and I'm going to introduce them. And I'd like Kurt and Shannon, if you'd please join me. We have Miss Carly Knott from the office of U.S. Senator Gary C. Peters. So, Carly, you're up.
Okay, hello everyone. So I'm Carly Knott, and as the Mid-Michigan Regional Coordinator for U.S. Senator Gary Peters, I'm here on behalf of the Senator today to present you with this congratulatory letter. So I'd like to read some of it for you. So it says, "Dear friends, I am pleased to join Secretary Cardona in the United States Department of Education in congratulating Alaiedon Elementary School on being recognized as a 2021 National Blue Ribbon School. First awarded in 1982, the National Blue Ribbon Schools program seeks to recognize public and private elementary, middle, and high schools based on their overall academic excellence or their progress in closing achievement gaps among students. Ensuring Michigan students have access to a quality future is integral to each student's future, as well as our state's. Alaiedon Elementary, along with the other 12 Michigan schools recognized this year, have proven through their hard work and dedication that they are exemplary models of educational excellence. With the leadership of Alaiedon Elementary Principal Shanna Barnum and her devoted staff, Alaiedon Elementary School has grown into a welcoming community focused around students and their betterment. I thank every educator, staff member, and parent, as well as Mason Public Schools, who all contributed to help foster a healthy learning environment. I am certain that the City of Mason and the entire state of Michigan share in the excitement of this prestigious national award. Once again, I appreciate the opportunity to congratulate Alaiedon Elementary School on being recognized as a 2021 National Blue Ribbon School. I wish Alaiedon staff, faculty, and students continued success in their future endeavors. Sincerely, Gary C. Peters, United States Senator. So, congratulations, everyone.
Okay, we have two more guests, a little more local this time. Senator Curtis Hertel and Representative Carol Hope. If you please join us at the podium, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. You know, as I come to the end of my terms, we get to do experiences over and over again, many together, but this is one that we've never done before. So nowhere in my district, this is the first Blue Ribbon School to be announced. While we were sitting here in the cold, but what a wonderful job you guys all did. One of the things that struck me is how each speaker, there was no credit taken for themselves. They just talked about how others had helped make this happen. And I really think that's pretty much the commitment that you need to accomplish anything major. And really what this state needs more of is a willingness to take less credit and to look where we can find others to work with. And so I really appreciate all of that. This achievement only happens because each of you, the parents that sent wonderful kids here and willing to work with them, the kids that were willing to work hard, the teachers that were willing to work in an incredibly difficult environment. I think Michigan may be one of the hardest states to be a teacher. The principals and leadership and the board members that served and got out of the way oftentimes to let them do their job. So we really appreciate and honor that. I also just want to say that it's nice to, at the end of a very difficult year, I think kids have had it harder than almost anybody except for maybe teachers and their parents. At the end of those years, it's nice to have something wonderful to celebrate with all of us in this community. So thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for really, it's an honor for you, but really it's an honor for all of us that serve you to see all the great work that was done to achieve this and to be honored and to be one of the best, the upper echelon, the top 0.2% schools in the country. Thank you.
I don't have a lot to add to what's already been said, but I just want to congratulate everyone at this school, the whole school district, and the entire community. It was truly a community endeavor, I think, that led to this point. And I think the award should be like a Blue Ribbon Plus for getting that award during the COVID times. It's just everything's so much more challenging during that difficult time. It's difficult to be in public service. It's difficult to be a parent. It's difficult for the kids, of course. And I'm just very grateful to be here and very honored to share this award with you. And congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, it's time for the ribbon. Let's get it out here, Sarah. Students, come on behind us here. Brutus, staff, central office board members, let's gather around in the back here for a good photo op. Lisa, come on. Ellen, staff, get up here. I'm sorry. Yes.
I'd like to say really quick on behalf of the Mason Chamber, our board of directors, and our ambassadors, how honored I am to be here tonight. I was lucky enough to attend Alaiedon myself as a child, and even more so lucky to have 2 of my 3 here at Alaiedon this year. So when I tuck my kids in at night, you know, we talk about things that we're grateful for, and one of those things is always our teachers for making us better. So thank you.